very, very robust, encompassing all aspects of the appellant's case as well as that of the respondents.
Supreme Court gives reasons for dismissing the appeal filed by the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar in the 2019 presidential election. All is now set for the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states as INEC distributes sensitive materials in the areas. A Nigerian Air Force helicopter crashes on landing in Enugu, no casualties recorded.
Airports in Africa face many challenges, but also offer many opportunities.
Aviation experts meet in Dakar on the implementation of the single African air transport market. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jumma Yusuf. Reading with me tonight are Dibaibre in Yenagua, Ifeanyi is in Lokoja, and Michael will join us later from Lagos. Now the news in details. We begin with the judiciary. The Supreme Court has given 4 reasons why it dismissed the appeal filed by Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate in the 2019 presidential election. The presidential election petition court had dismissed the petition on September 11, 2019 for lack of merit. The Supreme Court reasons were read by Justice John Okoro on behalf of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad. Vera Chinwoba, who was at the Supreme Court, however, reports that the appellants were not represented in court.
The position of the law is that he who alleges proves. One of the reasons given by the Supreme Court is the inability to call witnesses who saw what happened at the polling units to testify, as they are the only ones who can give credible evidence. Justice John Okoro of the Supreme Court read the CJN's judgment. The court critically reviewed its records on the 5 grounds of the appeal on the issues of qualification, submission of false information, alleged overvoting, non-compliance with Electoral Act, and admissibility of certain documents. After going through its records, the court came to the conclusion that the appeal lacked merit, as the appellants, Atiku Abubakar and the PDP, could not prove the allegations in line with the provisions of the Constitution, Electoral and Evidence Acts. Justice Okoro said Sections 131 and 318 of the Constitution dealt extensively with the issue of qualification, of which the President has more than the school certificate, giving exhibits tendered in relation to his military trainings within and outside the country. The contention of the appellants that they won the majority of lawful votes cast was not proved for want of credible witnesses. The court also rejected the results allegedly obtained from the server of an anonymous whistleblower relied upon by the appellants. The court affirmed the decision of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which had described President Muhammad Buhari as eminently qualified to run for the position he contested.
But very, very robust, encompassing all aspects of the appellant's case as well as that of the respondents. And I think it was a very well balanced judgment in looking at the facts and circumstances of the case.
Following the reasons given by the Supreme Court on the validity of election of Muhammad Buhari as the President of Nigeria, the matter has been put to rest. In Abuja, Vera Chinwoba, NTA News.
As reactions continue to trail the Supreme Court judgment, the presidency has described as an affirmation of the popular will of Nigerians, the Supreme Court ruling on the appeal by the People's Democratic Party. In a press statement reacting to the clarification of the Supreme Court on the ruling, the presidency reiterates that the onus of proof must necessarily fall on those that challenge the vote and that allegations must be substantiated if they are to hold, requiring credible witnesses to verify key claims. As the Supreme Court has stated, the case failed these tests. On the issue of qualification, the presidency says President Muhammadu Buhari has a long history of service to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the questioning of which flies in the face of all evidence. The statement advises the PDP to take up the service mandated by this election and appreciate the party and its candidate for using the judiciary to seek redress rather than expressing them in other ways. And joining me now in the studio to shed more light on the Supreme Court's clarification is Kayode Ajolo, a constitutional lawyer who has been following the case from the beginning.
Good evening.
You've been following the case from the beginning to the appeal court, to the Supreme Court. Can you tell us your take on the issue of qualification and alleged submission of false information?
Well,
What's your take on that?
Thank you. Let me first salute the erudition of my Lord, the Supreme Court justices, for delivering such judgment. On the question you raised on the qualification, it's so clear what the Supreme Court said today, that when it comes to the qualification of the president, even factdon'tlie.com, and from after little question, you find out that it's just somebody that's quickly designed the website, and you want the court. Court is not that stupid. There is no way. It is so clear, and I believe that is why we need not use sentiment. When it comes to issue of law, it must be law. You must bring a very cogent, unassailable fact that when even by the time you present it to the court, you will know what it is. But to now bring, you and I can design website today, and I can call it, but fact don't lie. When we believe that if you must do anything, come from where the INEC brought at least what INEC releases, what should be. But to now infuse and now try to smuggle one website and for the court to do that, even to me, I see it more as an insult to the court to bring such before the court. But as God will have it, the court has already decided on that and really said this can fly in the face of whatever you can bring in.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kayode Aloko. He's a constitutional lawyer, for coming on Network News tonight and giving us your insight on the Supreme Court judgment. It's been a pleasure having you join us. Thank you so much. In just a few hours to the much anticipated Kogi and Bayelsa governorship elections, we now join the Dibabre in Yenagua to bring us up to speed with preparations for the elections and other stories from that zone. Hello, Dibabre.
Welcome to Bayelsa State. We are still reaching you live from the INEC headquarters here in Yenagua. And now to our first story. Ahead of Saturday's governorship election in Bayelsa State, the Independent National Electoral Commission has taken delivery of sensitive materials from Central Bank of Nigeria to be used in the polls. Timini Pre Ohia witnessed the event and now reports.
The delivery of sensitive materials is the final phase of the preparation by INEC for the conduct of the governorship election in Bayelsa State. Officials of INEC, observers, party agents, security, as well as the media were at the Central Bank of Nigeria to witness the delivery of the sensitive materials. The REC INEC, Bayelsa State, Pastor Monday Udotom said the commission is ready to conduct the election as the sensitive materials are available for delivery.
We have gumboots to escort this material to the RAC center. Control and nothing until what will happen in this election. We have enough security on ground to protect every voter. So people of Bayelsa State, go out and start your franchise.
The media were not allowed to take visuals of the sensitive materials except from loaded vehicles for onward delivery to the registration area centers. Some party agents and observers raised concerns about the non-availability of result sheets in Ward 15, Southern Ijo, and the excursion of the materials to avoid being hijacked. As 889,308 persons are expected to exercise the franchise tomorrow. From Central Bank of Nigeria here in Yenagua, the Bayelsa State capital, Simenopri on here, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has deployed surveillance aircraft to monitor proceedings of the governorship election in Bayelsa State. Air Officer Commanding Mobility Command Yenagua, Air Vice Marshal Ubrofin Peter Uzezi, received the aircraft along with some INEC officials. Ebinimi Zitimiola has details.
The terrain of Bayelsa State will not be an issue in the peaceful conduct of the election, as the Command Operations Officer has given his word that the Air Force is fully prepared with the arrival of the surveillance aircraft. The effective policing and surveillance of the proceedings of the election process in achieving maximum positive results cannot be undermined. The deployment of surveillance aircrafts by the Nigerian Air Force is out. Air Officer Commanding Mobility Command, Yenagwa, Bayelsa State, Air Vice Marshal Ubrufi Peter Uzezi, represented by the Command's Operation Officer, noted that the Air Force will provide needed support to other security agencies for the peaceful conduct of the election.
Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar have directed that platforms should be deployed to Bayelsa State as part of our support for the other security agencies within the state. And as you can see, 2 of the platforms are already on ground, and we are expecting more to come.
Officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, commended the Air Force, led by the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, for the support.
Thank the Air Force for supporting INEC. And with the surveillance, we'll be able to know where areas that we should avoid and how to mobilize security in that direction.
Nigerian Air Force is living up to its expectation.
Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
Traveling from Yenagwa, the Bayelsa state capital, to coastal communities in the state is often inundated with several changes. Onenge Fine Face reports that Bayelsans are resolved to weather the storms. No matter how great, they've decided to steer the ship of the state at the pools.
The resilience of Bayelsans to participate in the 2019 governorship election can be likened to that of fishermen that are paddling against the tide. They keep paddling by the seconds. They keep struggling to go up to their destination, but the tide is against them, and so their movement is limited. Bayelsans see the difficult riverine terrain that they have to creak their way through as another tide against which they must paddle to ensure that they participate in the elections. This market boat can contain about 300 passengers, but it's not a comfortable boat for them. The boat is smoky, the seats are wooden, and they have to travel for about 5-6 hours to Akasa and Sangana.
See, boats, speed boat not reach. People where they go here plenty well. We not care to know what in the happen. We want go vote for the right party. Anyhow then do. Say now tomorrow morning we go reach. We want us go vote for the person.
But I have no choice. I have to be there to do my duty for my country and for my state of the Bayelsa state.
This particular fiber speed boat is going to Peramaburi. From this jetty, passengers also go as far as Ekolobubo, all in southern Ijo. It is another means of transportation that most of the voters are adopting to go back to their various communities to participate in the 2019 Bayelsa State Governorship elections. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
And as our beat from Bayelsa State is back to Jumai for the rest of the news. Good evening.
We're still talking electoral matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says no political party is excluded to participate in the governorship election in Bayelsa State. INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, made this clarification on NTA's special program, Kogi and Bayelsa Decides, this Friday.
All Progressives Congress is on the ballot for the elections tomorrow in Bayelsa.
What is INEC's interpretation of the various court positions?
Well, the court orders are still coming, and
so the fact that you have distributed would not countenance any court order that is coming.
Based on the court orders we have seen, and based on the court orders that have been served on us, there is no court order as of today that says that the logo and the logo of the APC should not be on the ballot. Okay. So we are looking at some of the court orders very, very closely, and we are also making sure that we remain within the ambit of the law. So as of today, we have interpreted the court orders. No, not interpreted. We have looked at the court orders that have been served on us, and we have complied with the intendment of those court orders.
Okay.
INEC correspondent Mayor Ogidi, who monitored the program, reports that INEC is set for the 2 governorship elections, Kogi West senatorial by-election, as well as the Brass 1 state constituency by-election in 6 polling units in Bayelsa State. Like Bayelsa, Kogi will also go to the polls in a matter of hours. Our studio in Lokoja is open and will now bring us updates on events there. And Ifeanyi is there. Hello, Ifeanyi. What's going on in Kogi?
You from Lokoja, the Kogi state capital. Civil society organizations and other observers of Nigerian elections have advised stakeholders in the Kogi governorship elections to play by the rules in order to ensure a hitch-free exercise. Ojonuga Atta reports.
Election is the first major election since the 2019 general election. The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room converged on Lokoja, Kogi State capital, to observe the electoral process.
Kogi State has a history of electoral violence, as well as a high level of political thuggery when compared to other states of the Federation.
The Situation Room, which is made up of civil society organizations working in support of credible and transparent election in Nigeria, is eager for an improved electoral process. Similarly, the European Union delegates from various embassies have called on the relevant stakeholders in the 2019 Kogi governorship polls to secure conducive and accessible environment devoid of any intimidation and harassment of the electorate while exercising their franchise.
Because this will, by the end of the day, send a vital signal that this is not something that is being tolerated in a Nigerian democracy.
The expectations are that the people of Kogi State would come out en masse to vote their preferred candidate. In Lokoja, Ojonuga Atta, NTA News.
It is the eve of the much-anticipated elections in Kogi State. Yakubu Notu is just back from town and reports that it is a mixture of friends in a frenzy.
It is now night in Lokoja, and in 4 hours' time, the dawn of a new day will usher in the much-anticipated governorship election. As the cool breeze of the rivers Niger and Benue flows southward, electorates in the state are making frantic effort to ensure that they participate in the all-important exercise. It's late night.
Oga, as you can see, I'm just coming back from Abuja, so I want to come and vote in my own state, in Kogi State, because tomorrow is an election day. So
Bayelsa and Kogi governorship elections are 2 of Nigeria's many off-cycle elections. But the unique thing about this episode in Kogi State is that the western part of the state looks forward to electing a governor as well as a senator to represent the district. In Lokoja, Iliasu Onnotu Yakubu, NTA News.
We'll take a short break now, and the news returns from Abuja. Thank you for watching.
Let me give phone to Smally, make I follow up.
It's Wasiu, your former driver.
Wasiu, the video call. Oh, Kaka. Mommy. With my Glow 4G, I can now upload my cars online, sell, and make plenty profit. Guess what they call me now, mommy? The new mega online car dealer.
Wasiu, right now when the iron is hot. See, we won't be like Shaki.
That will come and meet you specially and bring one big one for you.
Why you won't see me?
Your daughter. I want to marry her.
You know what? I've been wanting to do it.
Hello?
When Glow 4G day of phone, confidence must stay body. Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, cordially invites the general public to the 2019 Abuja Carnival, taking place between 23rd and 25th November 2019. Theme: Culture for Peace. Street Carnival and Opening Ceremony. Saturday, 23rd November 2019. Venue from Old Parade Ground to Area 1, Abuja. Time from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Other cultural activities on display are Children's Fiesta at GSS, Area 10, Garki, Abuja. Durbar at Kuje Stadium. Boat Regatta at Jabi Dam. Masquerade Fiesta at Government Day Secondary School, Gwagwalada. Traditional Cuisine Fair and Bush Bar at Old Parade Ground. Command Performance and Award Night, as well as Contemporary Music Fiesta at the Old Parade Ground from 23rd to 25th November 2019. Time from 8:30 p.m. till dawn daily. Deaconess Grace Isu Gekbe, Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Information and Culture, announcer.
Hey, bro, what's good? What's up, man? Wait. Sure, son, I won't leave as a guy.
Enjoy more data than before on Airtel Home Broadband. Get up to 160 gigabytes on routers with 25,000 naira and 55 gigabytes on Airtel MiFis with 12,000 naira. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Vice-Chancellor, Dean and staff of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, and the benefactor ZIGS Annual Lecture Series invite the general public to the 8th Annual ZIGS Lecture under the chairmanship of Senator Ifeanyi Chukwunwobodo, CON, former Governor of Anambra State. Theme: Migration and Development in Africa, Patterns, Issues and Challenges. Guest speaker, His Excellency Dr. Enes Bai Koroma, immediate past President of Sierra Leone. Date: 16th November 2019. Venue: University Auditorium. Time: 10 a.m. Benefactor: Senator Dr. Ben Ndiobi, former Special Advisor to the President on Interparty Matters. Host: Professor Rita Ugokwe Joseph Osai, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences. Chief Host:
in and around the port, as the team expect a heavy flow of traffic during the Yuletide season.
We're keen to ensure that all cargo coming into the country have seamless inflow and outflow. We deliberated upon the need to ensure that over time cargo are auctioned and removed from the terminal locations, and also to facilitate a seamless inflow. As you are aware, Lily Pond had an issue where it was vandalized. We're ensuring that Lily Pond Terminal is now operational to be the exit and entry into the port locations. In addition, we're keen to have an expanded trailer park system whereby Ogun State Government, Lagos State Government, Nigerian Ports Authority and Federal Ministry of Work all collaborate and donate trailer park into a company that would facilitate an electronic call-up system whereby trucks come into the state via Ogun State, domicile in Lagos, and then proceed to the ports.
We have to work together, all the agencies come together, synergize. We need to have assessment of release. We need space for the cargo, Christmas cargo to come in. You need space at the port. So many things have been discussed today, including extending period of 3 days from by the terminals, from 3 to maybe 15 days. Demurrage also reduction from 10 to maybe 90 days, so that people will be able to come and take their cargo out. Should be over time, cargo should be auctioned, and then the scanners should be redeployed to the ports.
If generally that things can be sustained. Now, as we go into the Christmas period, there will be increased volume. So we want to appeal to truckers and people patronizing. Please stay within the rules and make sure you don't need to pay anybody any cover.
The meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has in attendance the Controller General of Customs, the Minister of State for Works, and the Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, as well as the major terminal operators, manufacturers and shipping companies, including truck owners. The State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has given approval for the commencement of e-operations by the Nigerian Customs Service. Comptroller General of Customs Hamid Ali, who made this known at the 2019 graduation of officers of Senior Course 3 at the Nigerian Customs Command and Staff College, Gwagwalada, stressed that custom officers without computer literacy will soon be irrelevant to the service. Metere Ekben reports.
For the last 5 months, these senior customs officers have been tutored on smart border operations in line with international best practices. Part of the training was tour to Uganda, Gambia, Ghana and Cameroon for the participants to be abreast with 21st century customs conventions.
We saw things like electronic cargo tracking. All these are things, requirements for a seamless border.
As a nation, we are not doing too bad, but at the same time, there are some new things that we need to adopt.
Comptroller General of Customs Hamid Ali urged every officer of the service to brace up for e-operations.
We are now in the age of technology. Technologies don't work by themselves. We need the capable hands that can drive those processes.
Change has come to the Nigerian Customs Service and we must be prepared to embrace it.
Beyond the graduation, a fallout for many dignitaries, including Governor Nasiru El-Rufai of Kaduna State, is the impact of the closure of Nigeria's land borders with neighboring countries.
Nigeria must grow its own internal capacity. We will not do so if we allow our neighbors to use the porosity of our borders to sabotage our economy.
I will advocate the annexation. It is not good for us to close and rush to open.
They advised the Nigeria Customs Service to utilize the border closure to sanitize its operations at the various borders. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Now, 20 years ago, African heads of state launched the Yamoussoukro decision to facilitate the liberalization of air transport service in Africa. Till now, that objective is yet to be fully realized. This led to the launch of the Single African Air Transport Market, SATM, last year as the African Union flagship project of Agenda 2063 to drive the open skies. Will SATM change the African narrative? Emmanuel Anyimiro is in Dakar, Senegal, to find answers.
So far, 31 states have signed commitment to the implementation of the Single African Air Transport Market, while 23 others are yet to. Although experts are of the opinion that there is hope for the realization of the open skies, as Africa is the second continent with the highest growing traffic, even when commitment to the Single African Air Transport Market is still low.
Intra-African routes and frequencies are growing. This is a positive development, which is what we see in the density.
It is the hope that all African member states join the SATM and remove the restrictions in terms of capacity, frequency, and routing.
Taking a cue from successful continents on how they realize their single air transport market is the way out.
Africa is home to over 1.2 billion people. This represents over 15% of the world population. But at the same time, this continent accounts for just 3 to 4% of the global air services market.
Africa has a poor record of air transport liberalization, which drastically impairs connectivity and competition.
Various policies, including the recently signed African Continental Free Trade Agreement and the Open Skies, are geared toward improving transportation in the continent. From Dakar in Senegal, Emmanuel Anyimiro, NTA News.
Back home, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has presented a new policy document that will change the modules of disaster management from reactive management to strategic proactive intervention before occurrence. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Mihaja, unveiled the document.
The Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction is the third in the series of adopted UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction that started about 30 years ago with Yokohama and a Yogo Framework of Action. This framework of action is a total deviation from the usual where priority are only placed on aftermath of the disaster, now to a more secured preventive strategies that will take disaster risk reduction to a higher level. The policy document prioritized 4 key areas on awareness, governance, capacity, and resilience to domesticate the UN Conference in the Management of Disaster. Director General of NEMA Mustafa Mehajja says, these new policy documents, when implemented, will improve awareness, early warning, better preparedness, as well as establishment of sustainable structure for disaster risk reduction.
We need to integrate risk as well as potential opportunities into development, planning, and budgeting.
The unveiling of the policy document attracted stakeholders from all the intervening agencies and parastatals that will mainstream the document for effective execution. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Time now to join Michael in Lagos with more report on Network News. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Jumai, and welcome to Lagos. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has challenged legal practitioners to imbibe virtues of dedication, compassion, and go the extra mile in the discharge of their duties for the greater good of the society. This was at the formal memorial unveiling of a book in honor of the late senior advocate of Nigeria, Deji Sasegbon, Dotun Ogunyemi reports.
For those who do not know late Deji Sasegbon, he was the senior advocate of Nigeria who has to his credit 87 volumes of legal books. These publications include 38 volumes of Nigeria's Supreme Court cases, 6 volumes of company and allied matters law and practice, 30 volumes of Sasegbon's Law on Nigeria, 15 volumes of Sasegbon on electoral petitions, and posthumously 7 volumes of Sasegbon's Judicial Dictionary of Nigerian Law. Unveiling his latest book, Sasegbon's Judicial Dictionary of Nigerian Law, Volume 7, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo urged practitioners on leaving such lasting legacies.
Deji dedicated his life to the documentation of judicial precedents, an indelible legacy in the Nigerian legal system. And I believe generations yet unborn from within and outside the country will benefit from it.
Speaker after speaker eulogized late Sasegbon as a man of uncommon wisdom, a distinguished advocate, and a core professional.
Is the very first legal dictionary based purely on Nigerian law. And we as a nation want to we want to develop ourselves. We don't want to keep on relying on foreign publications.
It's passed on. We read him every day. We make use of his works. We make use of his for intellectual contributions to our jurisprudence. And I doubt if there is any Nigerian lawyer, if there is any Nigerian judge, if there is any Nigerian scholar who does not have volumes of Deji's books in his chest.
What Deji Sasegbon has done is about, I don't think anybody can do anything better than that. It covers everything, both for the judge, the practicing barrister, and students.
This book, described as one not for the shelves, would be a guiding force for future generations. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
A 34-year-old man, Ifeanyi Okoli, has been remanded in police custody until the 28th of February 2020. Justice Nicholas Owebo of the Federal High Court in Lagos gave the order following Okoli's arraignment by the Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) on a three-count charge bordering on importation of 13 containers of substandard electric cables. On the 31st of October 2019, the SON alleged that 120,000 brands of substandard electric cables concealed in 1340-feet containers were intersected at number 5 Igbenyadun Street, Lagos, warehouse of Ifeanyi Okoli. In a suit filed at the Federal High Court in Lagos, the prosecution counsel Babatunde Alajogun argued that
Both the defendant and his company conspired to import the product, which contravenes the mandatory industrial standard of SON. He added that the offense is an infringement and thereby punishable under Section 516 of the Criminal Code Act 2004.
The matter has been adjourned to February 27, 2020, and pending trial, he's been remanded in custody, but police custody this time around. So we are waiting for the bail application. The bail application can come anytime before that February 27th.
The defendant, who pleaded not guilty, prayed the court to grant him a short adjournment to prepare his bail application. Justice Nicholas Owebo, however, granted the defendant's prayer and directed him to bring his bail application before February 27, while hearing was adjourned till February 28 next year. This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Gain peace of mind with an efficient laundry cycle. Feel cooler air even at midday. Enjoy mealtime with food kept fresh all day long. Better inverter, LG Inverter.
You can now win smartphones and thousands of mobile recharge cards in the Center Fresh and Center Fruits Text and Win promo. Just buy Center Fresh or Center Fruits liquid filled carbs, SMS code on the wrapper to 20050 and stand a chance to win every day. Offer from 1st of November to 31st of December. So keep texting, keep winning.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka. No panic.
Can you no panic?
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Yeah, press OK. Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels will be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your group for no loss. You see as I do, Abi? And I see as I do,
Go TV. Live it. Love it.
And I see as we do,
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCAN, in collaboration with the African Training and Research Center for Development, CAFRA, invites top government officials at federal, state, and local government levels, NGOs, CSOs, and African-based development partners and agencies to a 3-day international conference. Theme: Leveraging Local Governance for Sustainable Development. Date: Monday 18th to Wednesday 20th November 2019. Venue: Nikon Luxury, Abuja, Nigeria. Conference fee: Nigerian delegates 100,000 naira per delegate. International delegates $400 per delegate. For further information, please contact Barrister Ifeanyi Ima Odogo in Morocco. Telephone +212 635 510 339 +212 688 593 618. Email okeosisi2011@yahoo.com or Dr. H. Abdul in Nigeria. Telephone +234 806 305 0788. Email mailarun@yahoo.com.
Thanks for joining us. Let's now shift our focus to security matters. Troops of Operation Lafia Dole in Borno State have killed 16 Boko Haram terrorists. A statement by the Nigerian Army Media Operations Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Ilyasu, says the terrorists were killed during a repelled attack in Malam Fotori. One soldier lost his life during the encounter while several arms were recovered. A Nigerian Air Force helicopter has crashed in Enugu on landing in Enugu after a routine flight today. Fortunately, there were no fatalities or injuries to any crew member or persons on the ground. A press statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commando Ibikunle Daramola, says the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has directed the immediate constitution of a board of inquiry to determine the cause of the accident. The Nigerian Air Force continues to solicit the understanding and support of the general public as it strives daily to ensure the security of Nigeria and Nigerians. The Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Boboye Oyeyemi has assured the Imo State government that appropriate measures will be put in place to address the expected increase in traffic in the state following the closure of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport Enugu. He made this known when he paid a courtesy visit to Governor Emeka Ihedioha in Government House, Owerri. Chukwu Bike Chukwu has details.
The closure of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, and the diversion of flights to Imo Airport will no doubt increase vehicular movement in Imo State as a major gateway to most southeast and south-south states. Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Boboye Oyeyemi, who assured that steps are being taken to address the situation, says the Corps has approved additional 2 issuing offices for the state. He, however, appealed to the state government to establish 3 driving schools in the 3 zones of the state and promise to provide technical support to the facilities when in place.
We can partner in a lot of things, Your Excellency, and we believe that so far we have 18 states that have set up their state traffic management agencies, looking to the EU of the state traffic management agency. He also confirmed that there are a lot of duplication about some agencies. This can be streamlined so that some of these traffic functions can be under one umbrella.
Governor Emeka Ihedioha commended the efforts of the Corps Marshal and his predecessor